kids are spoiled because you made them spoiled. You've created Frankenstein yourself.
This is pure power play. This stops here now.
The nation's favourite no-nonsense nanny is back.
Do what you're supposed to do as a parent. Stop copping out.
A third of UK parents think they're doing a really bad job. I don't think it's that bad. I just think a lot of parents have stopped reaching out.
My daughter is the way she is because of no help and support.
So everybody thinks everyone's doing a better job behind closed doors, and quite frankly, we've all got the same issues.
I just want a normal family life, that's all I want.
Honestly, seriously.
Jo Frost is lifting the lid on Britain's parenting woes by getting mums and dads talking.
Are you pleased with yourself?
Yes.
In this series, she's investigating the big issues facing today's parents.
Do kids get enough exercise?
Which one do you like? That one. Why? Because it's the skinniest.
As well as tackling some of the most extreme problems she's ever seen.
You're going to end up with a child who could die before you do.
I don't like dogs.
Why not?
Because she's changed you into a horrible mother.
She's on a mission to make us all better parents. But has she taken on more than one woman can handle?
Oh, sometimes your job's not easy.
This week, Jo tackles bedtime tantrums that give even her sleepless nights.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying here tonight, okay?
She finds out if overfeeding our kids is becoming a supersized problem.
Your child would put on £20 a year.
And should parents be worried when their little girls want to grow up too fast?
Your tummy's showing, and then that's the little rah-rah bit, is that right? Yeah.
There's a lot there where we're a lot less than her.
I have 3 children and I haven't slept for, at least 6 weeks.
Both my children are very bad sleepers. They wrestle all night long. My 4-year-old shouts out in her sleep.
That is tough when you're really very tired and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and that's where things can tend to go wrong.
I'd say 11 months now since I last had proper sleep, and it is actually frightening what sleep deprivation will do to you.
Working mum Jo lives in Woolwich with her daughters, 4-year-old Poppy and 6-year-old Paige. Most kids grow out of sleeping in their parents' bed by the age of 3, but this mum still has to make room every night for her eldest daughter.
Go to bed, Paige, now.
Paige has never ever spent a whole night in her own bed, never.
Go to bed, Paige.
It would be literally, I'd go in there with her, she'd fall asleep, I'd leave the bedroom, within 10 minutes she'd be awake.
Every night when Paige wakes up on her own, she has to find mum.
Even if I'd send her back 5 times a night, she'd be coming back in my room, which would end up none of us would get any sleep. Paige just doesn't want to be without an adult.
Mum hasn't had a full night's sleep in 6 years. She's desperate for this to change.
Broken sleep is just the worst, I think, and I've never had like 4 hours sleep without being woken up. I'm always tired. I try not to get angry, but yeah, I do feel stressed inside, and I've always got mouth ulcers because I'm so stressed.
Go to bed, Paige.
I can see it's pulling her down. She's quite thin anyway, and to look at her face sometimes, it's quite drawn, black under her eyes.
When I was living with my partner, we didn't get a lot of time together because Paige didn't go to bed, and it does worry me in the future that, you know, if I don't get Paige sorted out, I would never have another boyfriend.
Heart's beating really fast.
I went to see the GP about Paige's sleeping, and his response was she could grow out of it in 6 months or possibly 6 years. In 6 years' time, Paige is going to be 12, so I've got to wait around till she's 12 years old and still have her in my bed, you know? I would like Jo to come because I've tried every other avenue. It's a nightmare, really. Nothing I've tried has worked so far.
Paige is one of the most severe sleep cases Jo has ever come across.
This mum, like every parent can relate with, at some stage had a child who wasn't sleeping and thought, oh, it'll be okay, the one time I'll let her in my bed and she'll be fine. And the extreme is now, 6 years later, she cannot get her to sleep on her own.
Are you Paige? Hi, Poppy. Hi, I'm Jojo. I'm going to go and see your mummy. Hi, Jo. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
How you doing?
All right, thank you.
With no one else able to help, Jo Frost is Mum's last resort.
She's never slept in her own room, but now it's to the point where she won't even go in her room, she won't even start in her room. She just wants to come straight into my room. And she knows that in the end, for an easy life, I'm going to give in.
So, if I said passive, assertive or aggressive, which box would you put yourself in?
Probably passive.
Yeah, OK. And if we were now going to put her into that box, which one would it be?
Aggressive.
OK, so I better be the assertive one, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're well
You're
doomed.
in trouble, yeah.
We're well doomed.
Can you manage, Paige? Can you manage, or do you want me to do it for you?
You know, I think Mum knows really that she's not been strong enough, and it's created this bad habit that's kicked into place for too long now. And Mum's looking for some moral support.
So what does Paige have to say about her sleeping habits?
What you got for me? Come up here. Come up here. Come and sit with me. Is that me? Oh, thank you. Can I give you a kiss? Thank you very much. Thank you. So, do you know why I'm here?
To sort me out of my sleeping.
To help you with your sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay. What's it like sleeping with your sister, sharing a bedroom with your sister? Is it nice having somebody else in the bedroom?
Yeah, Mummy.
Sorry?
With Mummy, though.
And do you cuddle up with Mummy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And are there any other times that you snuggy bug with Mummy?
Not really.
You have your snuggle times with Mummy then?
Yeah.
When you go to bed? Yeah. Do you think that you can sleep in your own bed? Yeah, I think that too. It'll be better for you, because it's important for us all to get lots of sleep. And I'll catch up with you later. Check in with Mummy, because I think it's your dinner time soon. I don't see her needing to actually be attached to her mum's apron strings.
It's 7 o'clock. The countdown till bedtime begins. Paige has guessed tonight's routine is going to be altogether different, so the power game with Mum starts early.
Yeah, I said you've got 5 more minutes of playing out, and then you need to come in. Stop it. Calm down, Paige.
Look, you've got 5 minutes like Poppy.
Yeah, you've got 5 minutes like Poppy. Yeah, you've got 5 minutes like Poppy.
She's going to hit you level 8 tonight.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to know it like you've never known it before, because she knows you mean business.
Yeah. Well, she knew you was coming, and I spoke to her yesterday and just said, this is the last night you sleep in my bed from tomorrow, that's
Exactly.
it. So she knows.
Exactly, she knows business. But she wants to know if you're being serious or not, so she's going to come in at full pelt.
I want to sleep in your room tonight.
Paige, you're not sleeping in my room. You're not sleeping in my room. You're going to run a bath, and then we're going to do some colouring, OK? Paige, let go of my leg.
No!
Sit down there, Paige.
Jo knows this could be just the beginning of the longest night of Mum's life.
You serious about this tonight? How are you cracking about this tonight? Then you need to do what you need to do. OK? I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying here tonight. OK?
It's time to show Paige that getting in bed with Mum simply isn't an option, even if it takes all night.
The first time she comes out of the room, you are going to say to her, "It's bedtime, darling." And you're going to place her back into her bed.
Okay.
The second time she comes out, you're going to say, "It's bedtime." And you're going to place her back into her bed. The third time she comes out, you're going to say nothing.
Okay.
All right? Because you're going to cut off the conversation.
No!
It's 9 o'clock, and time for Mum's first attempt to put Paige in bed.
And off we go. OK? Follow me, please. Wait for Mum to go, don't be sick.
Mom, I'm
By the 6th attempt, Mum is still sticking to her guns, so Paige is trying every trick she knows to make Mum give in.
At the end of the day, you know, she's a child who is very willful and she wants her own way because she's always been given it. And you're just putting in place a technique that achieves what we ultimately want to achieve. You just need to continue.
Yeah.
And continue. And continue. 2 arms. So how far have you ever got before you've caved in?
About 3 o'clock in the morning.
And you caved at 3?
Yeah.
Okay, looks like I'm in for a long night then. Because you are not caving in at 3 in the morning. Not after all that work.
1.5 hours after bedtime, and Mum has taken Paige back upstairs 27 times. But the strain is beginning to take its toll.
How are you feeling?
Knackered, stressed. Got a headache.
It's about the wheels now, really, at the end of the day. It's Mum doing what she wouldn't have normally done, and that's to carry on and just push through to the finishing line.
11 o'clock, Mum's bedtime. So Paige stops trying to join her downstairs and sneaks into Mum's bed.
Oh dear, if only there were easier ways, right? Jo has gone up to sleep now and she's taken Paige up with her and she's going to continue to do the same, but from her room.
Midnight, and despite a 3-hour standoff and 41 attempts, Mum has stayed strong and not let Paige into her bed. Paige settles for the next best place, outside Mum's bedroom door.
So eventually she'll realise that even staying there...
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
That she might as well just stay in her room.
Yeah.
It's the first step at least.
Yeah.
And then from there, you know, into her own bed.
At 1 a.m, 4 hours after beginning bedtime, Mum places a sleeping Paige into her own bed for the first time in 6 years.
Ah, it's really good.
Yeah.
You got through that first hurdle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You feel emotional. Are you pleased with yourself?
Yes.
You're a good mum.
I just didn't think she'd go in her bed.
Are you surprised at what you found within yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Oh, you're very capable. You're very capable. I'm proud of you tonight. You changed it.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, an exhausted Mum is going to have to face all these bedtime battles alone. As well as helping individual families with their problems, Jo set out to answer some of the big questions facing all parents today, like how to give our kids the right healthy diet.
Chocolate, jelly, fish and chips, and my favourite food's pasta. Crisps, McDonald's, Burger King, KFC. I would choose fish fingers, chips and peas.
We know it's not always a good idea to let kids choose what they eat, but is it okay to let them choose how much to eat? Jo has invited 40 8-year-olds to a special street party to find out.
Parents are constantly worried how much to feed their kids, and well, let's face it, with childhood obesity on the rise, they're going to worry. So today, I'm hosting a very special lunch party so that parents can understand how easy it is to overfeed your kids.
Jo set up this party with a purpose with Dr. Laura McGowan of University College London. Everything the 8-year-olds eat today will be carefully measured by a team of research students.
As a nation, we're fatter than ever before, and children are influenced by many different things, and portion size potentially is one important one.
The children will be divided into 2 groups. one getting twice as much food as the other.
What we'll do is give children 2 different size portions and see will children overeat when they're provided with more food.
First up is a main course of pasta and tomato sauce. On the blue table, portions are measured out at exactly 300 calories, just right for an average 8-year-old. The children on the red table get a double portion, twice as much food as they need. All the kids have been told to eat until they feel full. Will they automatically stop eating at the right amount, or will they just keep eating whatever's in front of them?
Welcome to my special lunch party. I've got a few rules, so listen carefully. No throwing your food, and make sure you eat your own lunch, OK? Are we ready? Is it yummy? Yeah, I love pasta. Hands up if you've finished. What's in your bowl?
To keep track of how much the kids consume, the amount of pasta left over on either side is noted down.
Hey guys, bring out the dessert!
For the next course, the blue table get the correct single portion of dessert for an average 8-year-old. 3 small pieces of Victoria sponge at 180 calories. Again, the red table get double what they need. 6 pieces of sponge at 360 calories.
Are you all finished? Are you? Hands up if you're still hungry.
The blue table are all happy with their single portions.
So if you're all finished, off you go, then you can go and play.
But what about the red table?
Who else is finished? My word, a shot of hands went up rather quickly there. OK, who wants more? Tell me, young lady, why do you want more? Because it's nice.
Children are quite good at regulating their own intake up until about the age of 2. But from even as early as 3 or 4 years of age, they'll eat more if you provide them with more. They'll eat more if the food tastes particularly good.
With lunch over, the scientists weigh up the totals left over on either side. These are divided to give the average amount that each child has eaten. The blue table ate 90% of the single portions they were given, a perfectly healthy 432 calories, and all the children said they were full. The red table ate a staggering 80% of their double-sized portions, a whopping 768 calories, before they said they were full.
We're likely to just consume whatever's on the plate in front of us. The thing is, if you've been presented with a lot of food, you're more likely to eat it all.
So with the little ones here proving they have big appetites, how many of the parents know the right amount of food to give their kids? After playtime, Joe will find out. Children today not only have an appetite to eat like grown-ups, they're increasingly keen to dress like grown-ups too.
The hair straighteners, makeup.
Their vanity knows no bounds.
My 7-year-old daughters have been known to take up to an hour to get themselves ready, even if we're just going to the park.
And she's very conscious about what she wears as well, to school, how short her skirt is already, and she's only 7. She's asking me to buy her shorter skirts.
I don't want her going to school looking like a trollop, like some of the others I see at the gates.
In the race to look grown up as soon as possible, pamper parties, facials and manicures are becoming more and more common amongst children in the UK.
The peer pressure just from school friends to grow up and to conform to a much sort of older age group is much stronger.
Their friends have all had phones very quickly, wear makeup very quickly, have false nails at 12, which I think is, you know, very, very growing up.
Mum Sophie has organised this makeup party for her 11-year-old daughter Ellie. Although she sees it as harmless fun, she is worried about how far the next step might take Ellie.
And youngsters now are desperate to get to the underage clubs and to big parties. It certainly wasn't like that in my day. I think they're missing out on a lot of childhood. I think it's a real shame for them. I think it's a parent's job is to hold them back, allow them to still be children, because they are children at that age.
After 20 years in childcare, Jo's noticed a growing trend in girls donning makeup and provocative clothing at a younger age than ever before.
Why are children feeling that they just can't be kids anymore and they want to be all grown up so early? I mean, I know every young girl wants to, you know, look mature. You know, I don't understand this. Realistically, there's no reason why kids just can't be kids like we were 20, 30 years ago.
Jo's on her way to Stockton-on-Tees to meet Janice and her daughter Sawyer. They haven't asked for help, but they might be able to explain why young girls today are in such a rush to leave childhood behind. On first appearances, 13-year-old Sawyer looks like any other schoolgirl. But when the homework's done, she gets ready to hit the town. And for Sawyer, there's no point wearing grown-up outfits without a grown-up body.
She's fanatical. She doesn't just like to be slim, she likes to be toned. She wants a six-pack. That's, you know, so that when she's got a bikini on, she's got like a six-pack. That's her main aim, you know.
My figure's quite good for my age. I quite like that. I don't like my face. It's a bit chubby. I want to lose some weight so my chin goes in a bit so it doesn't stick out as much.
But she does want a nose job.
Jo wants to find out if letting young girls dress like young women also encourages behaviour that's way beyond their years.
See me?
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, come on in.
Hi.
Come on in. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Janice.
Yes,
Hi,
hello.
Jo. Hi, nice to meet you. So I'm here to ask some questions, really, and just, you know, find out what it's like being your age and going out around here and hanging out with your friends and all that kind of stuff. So I thought we'd have a chit-chat without Mum around. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Yeah, so can you go up to your room?
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. See you in a minute.
Okay.
Sawyer started going to teenage discos at the age of 10, and now at 13, she dresses up to sneak her way into clubs for the over-16s.
Why do you like to dress? I'm quite curious. I'm just learning so much. Why do you want to dress older? Why do you want to dress up for somebody who's like 17, 18?
Because I think in clubs like that are our age, it's not very fun because some people are a bit stupid. But in older clubs, I feel it's more fun and you feel more grown up to be in there.
Right. So for you, it's about wanting to feel grown up.
Yeah, because I want to. Yeah.
Because you want to what?
So I want to grow up quicker as well, so people don't think I'm immature. This is one of my favourites because I like it how it's bright, so I'd stand out from the crowd because
Right.
people will say, "Wow, she stands out just by her looking."
I'd see you on a motorway in that. That's neon yellow, that one.
When it comes in, it's quite short. Once I've got it on, it comes to about there when I've got it on.
Right.
But everything's covered.
But then you couldn't bend down or anything, could you? Because then you'd see your cheek bumps, wouldn't you?
Yes, and normally I just like when I go down, I just go like that.
Right. Okay.
If I need to pick something up.
Right.
I like this one because it's a bit more showy, but it doesn't show anything, if you know what I mean.
I'm trying to work out what's the back and the front.
Okay, I've got lost of here.
God, I feel 39 today. Right, show me how that goes then.
That goes over your head.
Go on then, put it over your head. Your tummy's showing.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then that's the little rah-rah bit, is that right?
Yeah.
So is it important at your age that when you knock around with girls and you all hang out that you all look pretty, that you all look a certain way?
Well, we all like to think that we look pretty, yeah.
But ultimately, that's to get noticed by boys, right?
Yeah.
What do you want them to like feel and think when they see you?
Like when say there's a group of lads, I'd walk past them on purpose, like so they'd like obviously look at who was walking past them, and then most of the time they'd come up and say, "What's your number?" And it makes me feel happy because it makes me feel like they've actually noticed me for me. Yeah. Because I like to dress sexy as well, so.
Is there a danger in going out and collecting lots of guys' numbers and thinking that it could lead you in a place that might be a little bit tricky, you know, with the older guys?
Yeah, well, sometimes I'll get like lads' numbers and then and I realise that they're quite pervy, and I'm like, oh, this is the wrong person I should be talking to, and I just like block them and delete them, so they can never get back in touch with me and things.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it, to say the least? Blimey, I'll tell you what, I'm shocked. I can't believe those outfits. I mean, that pink one is I can't believe it. Do I think it's right to allow your 13-year-old daughter to dress that way and go out? She'd be lucky if she left her bedroom door dressed like that with me as her mother. There's no way. However, this mother chooses to allow that. And the fact is, there are plenty of other mothers who choose to allow that.
Jo Frost is helping mums and dads across Britain tackle some of the most difficult issues facing today's parents. Back in Woolwich, sleep-deprived mum Jo is battling to get her daughter Paige to sleep in her own bed.
I am feeling quite strong about tonight. I must admit I wasn't yesterday, but Jo was really good, so I got through last night.
But this time, there'll be no Jo Frost to help.
I don't think it's going to be easy on my own at all. She may go off even worse tonight because Jo's not here, which I'm not looking forward to, but obviously in the long run I am looking forward to it if Paige is going to go into her bed. But yeah, I do think it's going to be a hard slog, definitely.
Last night, Paige spent hours trying to get into Mum's bed. Mum is exhausted, but there's plenty of fight left in Paige.
Come on, Paige.
No! I want to start. Come on, don't do it.
3 o'clock in the morning, and Paige is still going strong. Determination finally pays off, but at a price. After more than 30 attempts to get into Mum's bed, it's dawn before Paige finally gives up and sleeps in the hall.
"6 o'clock in the morning, she finally gave in and slept outside. So I do feel positive in that way, that I've not backed down like I would have before.
Jo's holding a street party to find out if we're overfeeding our children. How much do parents know about portion size?
It's difficult, you know about calories and things, but actual portion sizes is hard to judge.
I don't think we're educated in calories enough, are we? I don't think so. I was never educated in calories, so I don't know.
As long as they're eating the right type of food, then I don't think the portions is really that important, is it?
I don't get them to finish everything, but if it's just a small size portion of something, then yes, I do try to get them to finish it all.
Earlier, Jo gave 20 kids a lunch with the perfect amount of calories for an average 8-year-old. The other 20 were given twice as much food, and both tables were told to eat until they felt full. Jo gathers the parents together to show them the consequences of being over-generous with portion size.
One table ate this amount of pasta. This is the correct amount, which is a cup of pasta, or, as you can see, a side plate. The other table ate double the amount and polished it off pretty quickly. If we were to do that for a whole year, your child would put on £20 a year. £20. That's 10 bags of sugar. Yeah, you lot are quiet, right? Because it's quite stunning, isn't it? You know, it's quite shocking when you think about it.
Mums and dads know that if kids like what they're eating, they will eat more. But the problem is, their favourites are usually fattening options like pizza. Do parents know what size portions to feed their 8-year-olds as part of a healthy, balanced meal?
How much pizza should your child be eating? What do you think?
Half of one.
Half, OK. What do you think, sir, over the back?
I'd say just the one.
Just the one pizza. One child, one pizza. I mean, let's face it, they're not that big, are they? Are they? No, they're not that big. One pizza will feed 4 kids. 4 kids. This is the amount that one child should be eating a quarter.
If I gave my son a quarter of a pizza, isn't he just going to say, where's the rest of my pizza gone?
Yes, and you can tell him that the other 3 children are sharing it. So, talking of not so healthier options, how much ice cream should we really be giving our kids? How many tablespoons are our kids allowed to have? 3. Sorry? 3 over there on the corner. What do I have on this corner? 2. I have 2 on this corner, 3 on this corner. Any on this corner? 3. 2 and 3.
1. With a small spoon.
Yeah. 1 tablespoon is the correct portion of ice cream. We feel that the more we're giving our children when it comes to food, the more love that we're giving them as well. It's that old syndrome of feeding the chicks in the nest. And the fact is that, you know, we've very clearly realised that we're overfeeding our kids. And with an epidemic of childhood obesity, it really is our responsibility as parents to make sure that the next generation is a healthy one.
I was surprised in the difference between the two. And I was also surprised my daughter ate the largest one.
Going home now, I'm going to try and cook just for the 3 of us, you know, rather than just cooking with the hope that someone's going to pop around, which is what, you know, I suppose as an African, that's what you do tend to do.
Horrified for myself as much as for my children, because I think I'm probably much bigger than that larger size plate.
There are ways of making a smaller portion feel more satisfying for children and adults.
It often takes us a lot longer to realise we're full up, so it's better to try and eat slowly. One method that's actually been proven to be quite successful is if you put your knife and fork down completely between mouthfuls. This helps to slow down the rate of eating and therefore, in the long run, can help to prevent you gaining weight.
Nice to meet you, Janice.
In Stockton-on-Tees, Joe met Janice and her 13-year-old nightclubbing daughter, Sawyer.
Blimey, I tell you what, I'm shocked. I can't believe those outfits.
Sawyer has been sneaking into clubs for older kids since she was 10 and now chooses outfits that will get her into clubs for the over-16s.
So most of the time they come up and say, what's your number? And it makes me feel happy because it makes me feel like they've actually noticed me.
Joe wants to know why Mum Janice is happy to let her 13-year-old dress and socialise the way she does.
Are you a mum that's a pushover? Are you a mum who can't say no? Okay, if you are, you are. Tell me why. You know, because there will be other parents that go, do you know what, that's me. I'm glad she said it because, yeah, I'm the pushover mum as well.
I think to myself, well, if I say don't, one, she'll go in a mood. And then, oh, heaven help us if she goes in a mood.
Right. So then you've got to deal with that. So you think it ain't worth it because she's going to cause hell in this house for days. Okay, fair enough.
We all suffer because of it.
Right.
But also, I trust her implicitly. I really do trust her implicitly. She tells me everything. People laugh at what she tells me because people will say, I can't believe she told you that. But she does. She tells me everything.
As a parent, do you worry about the outfit she wears and the message that it sends to those frisky young men out there when they're in the same club? Right. You must worry as a parent. You must.
I worry to a certain extent, but when she goes to any of her clubs, I always take her. I always drive her. Her friends normally come here and they always get ready here normally, and then I drive them. And so I watch them go into the clubs. And then I'm always there at the end of the night, like half an hour before these clubs end. So as they all come out, I'm there. So I'm watching them come out as well. I am very aware of when she goes out, of how she looks. But the clubs that she goes to, all the other girls look exactly the same. Yeah. So she's not the only one who has the short dresses on and things like that. In fact, there's a lot there where wear a lot less than her.
But don't you think clubs are where you go so that you can look at the opposite sex and hormones are flying all over the place and I like you, you like me, we flirt and...
To be honest, I think that's the whole point of them dressing up, for any of the girls.
You said you trust her and that she tells you everything. What is it that you do as a parent that allows that door to always be open where she feels she can, even for the most awkward of things?
She has dabbled in drink in the past.
Yeah.
And so...
What do you think about that?
I'm not happy about it at all. Yeah. But even if I'm shocked, I never ever get annoyed, never ever get annoyed about it, because I think the first time I get annoyed will be the first time that she says to herself, I'm not telling you if I do anything again. I'll say if I don't agree with it, and I'll just sort of say, really, that was not the best things to do. And she'll often agree with me.
It does show me that you're not a mum who's sitting here going, it actually is okay, I'm actually cool about it. It's just easier to say yes.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to any parent right now that's dealing with an 11-year-old that says, Mum, I want that outfit?
Think twice.
Thank you very much for our conversation. Thank you.
Surprisingly, Mum isn't the only one who wishes she could turn back the clock and do things differently.
Right, so 13's the age where you think that you should be doing all of this and that's why you're doing it.
Well, not really, because I think it's a bit too young, but...
So, hold on a minute, so you do think it's too young then?
Yeah.
Even though you're doing it, you do think it's too young? Why? Why?
I think it's too young to start going into clubs, but I enjoy it, so...
So if your mum turned around and said to you next week, you've got to knock this all on the head, what would you say to that?
Well, I'd say it was unfair because she shouldn't have let me start off like this at a young age if she's just going to stop me halfway through it.
Right.
I wouldn't have minded if she let me start when I was, like, about 15, but because she's already started letting me do it, I enjoy it, so
right.
I think it was unfair.
OK. So you're saying that basically if your mum had have clamped down and said no, you'd have had no choice but to wait. But as she hasn't, and she's helped you, you're like, sod it, I'll go for it anyway. Thank you. Bye. Bye, girls. Bye. Cheerio. Cheers. Bye. At the end of the day, the message is, as parents, we've got to be able to make a stand in being able to pace our teenagers. You know, every teenager wants to do something that's a little bit more mature because they don't want to be treated like babies. But as parents, we've got to be able to knuckle down and say, no, not right now, and still have an open, healthy conversation with them and communication with them that allow them to realise that.
Stressed out mum Jo has so far succeeded in getting her daughter Paige to stop sneaking into mum's bed. But tonight Jo's working the late shift, so Grandma Pauline is babysitting.
I'm feeling quite nervous for her, to be honest, because if she's anything like she's been the last 3 nights, my mum's going to struggle.
Pauline has a weekend holiday home nearby, where Paige and her sister Poppy regularly stay. Paige is used to sharing a bed with her soft-touch gran, so the pressure's on for Pauline to keep up mum's hard work.
But I'm not going to give in for her sake and Paige's. She started this and been good this week, so I've got to carry it on. Paige, your tea's on the table.
After only a week, it looks like Mum isn't the only one who's been learning the Jo Frost bedtime technique.
Tonight, Paige, what we're going to do? What do I have to say?
Good night.
How many times?
2 times if I keep doing it.
Yeah.
You're allowed to talk to me.
I'm not allowed to talk to you, so what do I do? Just keep putting you in bed? But you're not going to keep getting out of bed tonight, are you?
I'll try not to.
Yeah. Say good night and you're going to be good girls. Paige, you promised me. I'm going to be sitting here, aren't I? I'm going to be sitting here.
I'm going to come back out here.
I'll sit out here. I'll do me clearing up. And read me paper, look. I mustn't talk no more, must I? All right? No, no.
No, you're right.
No, I'm sitting at the table. Oh, I'm saying too much, I know.
I like it.
I don't like seeing her upset. But I know she's got to sleep in that bed. Come on. But have a nice day tomorrow. Get the paddling pool out. Do you reckon we've done it? She can hear me talking and normally she'd be shouting out. But perhaps she has suddenly gone off.
1 hour later, and things are looking good for Pauline.
Go on, Nan, I can have a look. I'll see it, she's okay.
I'm not asleep. I'm not asleep. I'm not.
You are silly. Oh my God, how stupid was that? Oh dear. What an idiot.
After just 15 minutes, everyone's asleep in their own bed. Now Mum will have grand standards to live up to. Jo Frost is helping Paige's mum in a battle of wills with her daughter. Mum may finally have a bed to herself, but now there's a new problem. Paige is sleeping in the hall. Jo's back to get Paige sleeping in her own bed.
Hello. How you doing?
She's still been the same here. She's still been sleeping outside the bedroom door, basically. Down the caravan, she's been good as gold. She's gone into her room, she's slept in her room.
So she has slept in a bed
at the caravan.
At the caravan.
All night, yeah.
The fact that she sleeps down at the caravan.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, she's just, it's battle of wills and she's playing you.
Yeah.
So this is what I want you to do now, is step it up a notch. I would lay it down very firm with her and say, tonight I expect you to sleep in your bed.
Yeah.
And if you start to come out, you will lose going outside and playing. All right, so give that to me. Say Paige, use her name.
Okay, Paige, I want to just tell you something. Tonight is the last night. You're going to sleep in your own bed tonight. And if you don't sleep in your own bed, I'm pre-warning you now that tomorrow you're not playing out. Poppy's going to play out, but you're not playing out unless you sleep the whole night in your bed tonight.
I want you to slow your speech pattern down. And say, right, I'm telling you now, you're going to be doing this, and I'm going to be doing that, and I'll tell you now, if you don't listen, you're going to be doing this, and it's like too fast.
If you don't sleep the whole night in your own bed tonight, Paige, you're not going to be going out to play tomorrow.
Okay, it weren't firm enough.
At bedtime tonight, you're going to go to bed in your own bed, and you're going to sleep the whole night. And if you don't, you're not going to play out tomorrow.
That's good. And make sure you talk with conviction and follow through the next day.
Okay.
Take care. Bye. Bye. See you later, Paige. Bye, darling. When you mean what you say and you follow through, your kids very clearly know the choices that they've got to make. And I'd like to hear within 3 or 4 days that this issue's forgotten about. Done. Everyone's sleeping.
As bedtime approaches, Mum delivers her warning.
Listen, Paige, we're going to read a story, and then you're going to sleep in your own bed all night tonight, Paige. And if you don't sleep all night in your own bed tonight, then you're not allowed to play out at all tomorrow, okay? Do you understand that? Do you, Paige?
Don't want.
Okay, well, we're going to go up to bed now. Come on in. Once upon a time, there was a boy called Hansel and a girl called Gretel. They lived with their father and stepmother near a dark wood. Good night. See you in the morning. Go to sleep, Paige. Good night.
It looks like Mum's ultimatum may have worked.
It does feel too good to be true that Paige is in bed this time. And I hope that she has taken on board what I said to her just before she went to sleep. I couldn't remember a time I've ever done this. I've ever sat and in a living room on my own while the girls were asleep. There has never been a time.
But it is too good to be true. Paige ends up back in the hallway.
Where was you when I got up this morning?
Outside your bedroom.
Why didn't you sleep in your room, Paige?
Because it was stupid.
Can Mum stay strong and stick to Jo's advice to follow through with discipline?
She didn't go to bed last night, so she's not allowed to play out. But Poppy can play out. Okay. Poppy? Yeah. You go and play out with Destiny? Yeah. Go on then. I'm quite surprised how well she took that, actually. I don't usually stick to my guns when it comes to Paige. This is a new thing for me. Jo said that anything I say I'm going to do, I need to stick to. And I've stuck to my guns, so I'm just going to continue with that. What are you doing?
1 week later, as Mum's nightly perseverance paid off.
Hello? Jo. Hi, Jo. Hello. You alright?
Yeah, I'm very good. How are you?
Very good. She's been sleeping in her own bed all night.
Yay! That's what I'm talking about.
I can't believe it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think my services are done here, right?
Thank you, Jo. Thanks very much.
Take care, Jo.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I think Joe is proud of me, yeah. I think when she first met me, she thought I was quite a weak person, and to be honest, I was feeling quite weak anyway. So I think, yeah, I've surprised myself, and I hope I've surprised Joe.
Go away, we're going to bed now. We're tired.